Who selects a frequency coordinator? A. The FCC Office of Spectrum Management and Coordination Policy. B. The local chapter of the Office of National Council of Independent Frequency Coordinators. C. Amateur operators in a local or regional area whose stations are eligible to be repeater or auxiliary stations. D. FCC Regional Field Office. C. Amateur operators in a local or regional area whose stations are eligible to be repeater or auxiliary stations. On which HF bands does a technician class operator have phone privileges? A. None. B. 10 meters only. C. 18 meters, 14 meters, 15 meters and 10 meters. D. 30 meters only. B. 10 meters only. What is the normal term for an FCC-issued primary station/operator amateur radio license grant? A. 5 years. B. Life. C. 10 years. D. 20 years. C. 10 years. When is it permissible to transmit messages encoded to hide their meaning? A. Only during contests. B. Only when operating mobile. C. Only when transmitting control commands to space stations or radio control craft. D. Only when frequencies above 1280 MHz are used. C. Only when transmitting control commands to space stations or radio control craft. When the control operator is not the station licensee, who is responsible for the proper operation of the station? A. All licensed amateurs who are present at the operation. B. Only the station licensee. C. Only the control operator. D. The control operator and the station licensee are equally responsible. D. The control operator and the station licensee are equally responsible. Which of the following formats of a self-assigned indicator is acceptable when identifying using a phone transmission? A. KL7CC/W3. B. KL7CC slant W3. C. KL7CC/W3. D. All of these choices are correct. D. All of these choices are correct. How should you respond to a station calling CQ? A. Transmit CQ, followed by the other station's call sign. B. Transmit your call sign followed by the other station's call sign. C. Transmit the other station's call sign followed by your call sign. D. Transmit a signal report followed by your call sign. C. Transmit the other station's call sign followed by your call sign. Which of the following describes a linked repeater network? A. The network of repeaters where signals received by one repeater are repeated by all the repeaters. B. A repeater with more than one receiver. C. Multiple repeaters with the same owner. D. A system of repeaters linked by APRS. A. The network of repeaters where signals received by one repeater are repeated by all the repeaters. What does the term traffic refer to in net operation? A. Formal messages exchanged by net stations. B. The number of stations checking in and out of a net. C. Operation by mobile or portable stations. D. Requests to activate the net by a served agency. A. Formal messages exchanged by net stations. What type of wave carries radio signals between transmitting and receiving stations? A. Electromagnetic. B. Electrostatic. C. Surface acoustic. D. Magnetostrictive. A. Electromagnetic. What frequency range is referred to as HF? A. 300 to 3000 MHz. B. 30 to 300 MHz. C. 3 to 30 MHz. D. 300 to 3000 kHz. C. 3 to 30 MHz. Which of the following propagation types is most commonly associated with occasional strong over-the-horizon signals on the 106 and 2 meter bands? A. Backscatter. B. Sporadic. C. D-layer absorption. D. Gray line propagation. B. Sporadic. How might a computer be used as part of an amateur radio station? A. For logging contacts and contact information. B. For sending and or receiving CW. C. For generating and decoding digital signals. D. All of these choices are correct. D. All of these choices are correct. Which of the following would reduce ignition interference to receiver? A. Change frequency slightly. B. Decrease the squelch setting. C. Turn on the noise blanker. D. Use the rate control. C. Turn on the noise blanker. What is the name for a current that reverses direction on a regular basis? A. Alternating current. B. Direct current. C. Circular current. D. Vertical current. A. Alternating current. If an ammeter calibrated in amperes is used to measure a 3000 mA current, what reading would it show? A. 0.003 amperes. B. 0.3 amperes. C. 3 amperes. D. 3 million amperes. C. 3 amperes. What is the formula used to calculate electrical power in a DC circuit? A. Power P equals voltage E multiplied by current I. B. Power P equals voltage E divided by current I. C. Power P equals voltage E minus current I. D. Power P equals voltage E plus current I. B. Power P equals voltage E divided by current I. What is the voltage across a 10 ohm resistor if a current of 2 amperes flows through it? A. 8 volts. B. 0.2 volts. C. 12 volts. D. 20 volts. D. 20 volts. What electrical component opposes the flow of current in a DC circuit? A. Inductor. B. Resistor. C. Voltmeter. D. Transformer. B. Resistor. What class of electronic components uses a voltage or current signal to control current flow? A. Capacitors. B. Inductors. C. Resistors. D. Transistors. D. Transistors. What is component 3 in figure T1? Its symbol is an arc between two electrodes. A. Resistor. B. Transistor. C. Lamp. D. Ground symbol. C. Lamp. Which of the following is commonly used as a visual indicator? A. LED. B. FET. C. Zener diode. D. Bipolar transistor. A. LED. Which of the following is used to convert a radio signal from one frequency to another? A. Phase splitter. B. Mixer. C. Inverter. D. Amplifier. B. Mixer. What should be the first step to resolve cable TV interference from your ham radio transmission? A. Add a low-pass filter to the TV antenna input. B. Add a high-pass filter to the TV antenna input. C. Add a preamplifier to the TV antenna input. D. Be sure all TV coaxial connectors are installed properly. D. Be sure all TV coaxial connectors are installed properly. Why do most solid-state amateur radio transmitters reduce output power as SWR increases? A. To protect the output amplifier transistors. B. To comply with FCC rules on spectral purity. C. Because power supplies cannot supply enough current at high SWR. D. To improve the impedance match to the feed line. A. To protect the output amplifier transistors. Which of the following precautions should be taken when measuring circuit resistance with an ohmmeter? A. Ensure that the applied voltages are correct. B. Ensure that the circuit is not powered. C. Ensure that the circuit is grounded. D. Ensure that the circuit is operating at the correct frequency. B. Ensure that the circuit is not powered. What is an advantage of single-side E-band SSB over FM for voice transmissions? A. SSB signals are easier to tune. B. SSB signals are less susceptible to interference. C. SSB signals have narrower bandwidth. D. All of these choices are correct. C. SSB signals have narrower bandwidth. What do the initials LEO tell you about an amateur satellite? A. The satellite battery is in low energy operation mode. B. The satellite is performing a lunar ejection orbit maneuver. C. The satellite is in a low Earth orbit. D. The satellite uses light-emitting optics. C. The satellite is in a low Earth orbit. What name is given to an amateur radio station that is used to connect other amateur stations to the Internet? A. A gateway. B. A repeater. C. A digipeater. D. A beacon. A. A gateway. What does the abbreviation PSK mean? A. Pulse shift keying. B. Phase shift keying. C. Packet short keying. D. Phase slide keying. B. Phase shift keying. What is the approximate length, in inches, of a half-wavelength 6-meter dipole antenna? A. 6. B. 50. C. 112. D. 236. C. 112. What can cause erratic changes in SWR readings? A. The transmitter is being modulated. B. Loose connection in an antenna or a feed line. C. The transmitter is being overmodulated. D. Interference from other stations is distorting your signal. B. Loose connection in an antenna or a feed line. Which of the following is a safety hazard of a 12-volt storage battery? A. Touching both terminals with the hands can cause electrical shock. B. Shorting the terminals can cause burns, fire, or an explosion. C. RF emissions from the battery. D. All of these choices are correct. B. Shorting the terminals can cause burns, fire, or an explosion. Which of the following is an important safety rule to remember when using a crank-up tower? A. This type of tower must never be painted. B. This type of tower must never be grounded. C. This type of tower must not be climbed unless retracted or mechanical safety locking devices have been installed. D. All of these choices are correct. C. This type of tower must not be climbed unless retracted or mechanical safety locking devices have been installed. Why is duty cycle one of the factors used to determine safe RF radiation exposure levels? A. It affects the average exposure of people to radiation. B. It affects the peak exposure of people to radiation. C. It takes into account the antenna feed line loss. D. It takes into account the thermal effects of the final amplifier. A. It affects the average exposure of people to radiation.